If you've ever changed jobs, moved house, or started a casual gig in your 20s, there's a decent chance the tax office is holding super with your name on it right now. It's sitting idle, not invested, and nobody is going to chase you to come and get it. Across the country, nearly $19 billion in lost and unclaimed super is just sitting there, and almost 7.3 million accounts are affected. ATO 2025. Today, I'll show you 3 free moves. Check your accounts on MyGov, run the ATO Super Health Check, and call the Lost Super line to find what's yours. Here's the headline figure. Just over $18.9 billion in lost and ATO-held super as of the 30th of June 2025, spread across just under 7.3 million separate accounts. ATO Super Statistics 2025. But here's the part nobody tells you. That money isn't being invested for you. It's effectively parked, going nowhere. 3 moves, and every one of them is free. Check all your super on MyGov, run the ATO's Super Health Check, then call the Lost Super line to catch anything hidden. Each takes under 20 minutes. So how does your money get cut off from you? When a super account goes inactive, no contributions or rollovers for 12 months, your fund can flag it as lost. Australian super guidance. Then if a small balance under $6,000 sits with no contribution for 16 months, the fund must transfer it to the ATO as unclaimed, where, in the ATO's own words, it won't be growing the way it would in an invested fund. And the pile of idle money is getting bigger. Lost super, still held by funds, rose from $10.1 billion in 2023 to $12.7 billion in 2025. ATO Super Statistics 2025. That's billions in small accounts still being charged fees and insurance premiums, quietly shrinking instead of growing. The second layer is multiple accounts. Many Australians have more than one super account from different jobs, and not all are being actively managed. ATO 2025. When one becomes small and inactive, the fund is legally required to ship it to the ATO. Balance under $6,000, no contribution for 16 months. And at that point, you stop being a member of that fund altogether. Aware super guidance. And here's the cost of doing nothing. Australians had $17.8 billion in lost and unclaimed super at the ATO's 2024 check. And that rose to $18.9 billion by mid-2025, an increase of around $1.1 billion in a single year. ATO 2025. Treasury says millions of Australians could be thousands of dollars better off in retirement simply by reclaiming and consolidating these balances. Treasury 2025. Now the myth that stops people acting. It's only small amounts the government or my fund will sort it out for me. The reality, $18.9 billion is sitting unclaimed. The average is $2,590 per person, and nobody is automatically reuniting most of it with you. ATO and Treasury 2025. Put the 2 figures side by side. There's nearly $19 billion in lost and ATO-held super system-wide, and the average unclaimed amount is $2,590 per person. ATO and Treasury 2025. But here's the part that matters. Your share of that is real money that could be growing for your retirement instead of sitting frozen. Let me show you what this looks like for a real person. Meet Sarah. She's 34, a marketing manager in Sydney earning $95,000 a year, with about $55,000 in her main retail super fund. She thought she was on top of her super until she spent 20 minutes actually checking. Her first discovery, $2,590 in a forgotten early career fund, almost exactly the national average per person. Treasury 2025. It had been inactive for more than 16 months, which meant it ticked the boxes to be swept to the ATO as unclaimed super if she did nothing. Australian super guidance. Left idle, it earns next to nothing. Consolidated and invested, it could be worth thousands more by retirement. Her second discovery was another $1,500 in a small fund-held lost account, with no contributions for over 12 months. ATO 2025. This is exactly the kind of balance making up the $12.7 billion of lost super still sitting in funds, small, idle and quietly eroded by ongoing account fees and insurance premiums. ATO Super Statistics 2025. But the third discovery surprised her most. When a super account is transferred to the ATO as unclaimed, you're no longer a member of that fund, and any insurance linked to it stops. Aware super guidance. So those automatic transfer rules weren't just costing Sarah investment growth on around $4,000, they could have quietly cancelled cover she didn't even know she relied on. Add Sarah's two accounts together and you get about $4,090 sitting idle today, left in lost or ATO-held limbo for the 33 years until she turns 67. That money earns little to nothing. But consolidated and invested at typical super returns, the difference is several $1,000s by retirement, Treasury 2025, authors modelling. So could this be you? 3 signs. You've changed jobs and never handed your new employer your fund details, you genuinely don't know how many super accounts are in your name, or you haven't logged into MyGov to check your super in years. If any one of those rings true, the next 3 moves are exactly for you. Here's the good news. Finding and reclaiming your super is genuinely simple and every step is free. These 3 moves take you from not knowing whether you have lost super at all to one clean, active account with nothing sitting unclaimed. Let me walk you through each one. This is general information, not personal advice. Move 1. Check all your super through ATO online services. Log into your MyGov account, link the ATO if you haven't already, then go to super and then fund details. ATO 2025. That screen lists every super account in your name, including any flagged as lost or held by the ATO. Write down each fund name and balance so you know exactly what you're dealing with. 3 quick steps. 1. Log into MyGov and link the ATO to your profile. 2. Open super, then fund details to see the full list of your accounts. 3. Note the balances and start consolidating into your main fund. You're done when you have one active fund and nothing showing as lost or ATO held. Move 2. Run the ATO's free super health check. It's a simple 5-step guide that walks you through verifying your personal details, checking for multiple accounts, and identifying any lost or ATO held super, ATO and Treasury 2025. It then points you straight to the consolidation option so you can pull everything into one fund without guessing. 3 steps again. 1. Open the Super Health Check Guide on the ATO website. 2. Verify your details and check for any multiple accounts. 3. Use the consolidation option to roll everything into one fund. Good looks like updated details, no surprise accounts, and nothing left unclaimed. Move 3. Call the ATO's Lost Super search line on 13 28 65. Some unclaimed super tied to old names or addresses may not show up in ATO online services, and this line can confirm any unclaimed super money transferred to the ATO that you can't see online, ATO 2025. It's the safety net that catches what the screen misses. 3 steps to finish. 1. Have your tax file number, full name, date of birth, and known fund details ready. 2. Call 13 28 65 and ask specifically about any USM transferred to the ATO. 3. Request the forms to reclaim and consolidate anything found. You're done when you've confirmed no hidden ATO held super remains in your name. Why act now rather than someday? Back in 2019, the rules expanded so more small and active accounts get transferred to the ATO automatically, aware super guidance. In 2024, the ATO's check showed $17.8 billion in lost and unclaimed super, and by mid-2025, that had climbed to $18.9 billion, with Treasury warning millions of Australians are missing out on their share, ATO and Treasury 2025. Once you've acted, verify it actually worked. You should see one active fund in ATO online. With no lost flags, you should confirm no balance still shows as ATO held in your name. And if you had insurance through an old fund, double check it's still active after consolidating. Those 3 checks tell you the job is genuinely done. Every figure today comes from the ATO's lost and unclaimed super statistics, the ATO's own search guidance, and the Treasury Minister's 2025 media release. I've put direct links to all of them in the description so you can verify the numbers yourself and start your own search. So that's how nearly $19 billion goes missing, and the 3 free moves that get your share back where it belongs. Next week, I'm breaking down industry versus retail, super funds, and which one might be quietly draining your balance, so make sure you're subscribed. If this saved you even a few minutes of confusion, do me one favour and hit subscribe. It genuinely helps us keep reading the fine print so you don't have to. Then go log into my Gov today and check, because your lost super isn't going to find itself.